Goblin launch detected.
Hey gang, using the promo code MTGMudsta, one word, all caps, will get you 10% off orders of $10 or more at Flipside Gaming, Original Magic Art, and orders of singles at Multizone. If they don't have what you're looking for, you could check out TCG Player and use my affiliate link to help support the channel. Looking for a way to bling out your deck and not spend a fortune? Alter Sleaze can help with that, and you can help with the channel at the same time by using my affiliate link. Or, if you're looking to join the Goblin Gang, you can always support me through Patreon. Hey gang, and welcome back. First up, big congratulations to William Philbrick for winning the Commander Legends giveaway. Now let's get into today's game. First up, we have Martin playing Geist of St. Traft, keeping Hammer of Dazan, Swiftfoot Boots, Burnished Heart, Darksteel Plate, Silverblade Paladin, Reliquary Tower, and a Plains. Nick is playing Sharuum, keeping a Reflection Mage, Deputy of Detention, Sudden Disappearance, Orzhov Signet, Dimir Signet, Plains, and Temple of Enlightenment. I've borrowed Max's Kels Fight Fixer, keeping a Swamp, Drowner of Hope, Demon of Dark Schemes, Seagate Restoration, Liliana Heretical Healer, and another Swamp. Max is playing Inniaz the Gale Force, and his opener has a Plains, an Island, a Calciform Pools, Windreader Sphinx, Arcane Signet, Migratory Route, and an Empyrean Eagle. Martin wins a die roll and starts us off. Martin plays a Plains, passing. Max plays a Plains as well. Nick plays a tapped Temple of Enlightenment and scries 1. I decide to play Seagate Reborn, the land half of Seagate Restoration. It comes in tapped since I don't pay the 3, and I pass. Martin plays a Reliquary Tower, and then taps 2 mana for Swiftfoot Boots. Max plays an Island, and casts Arcane Signet. Nick plays an Island as well, casting his Mana Rock, Dimir Signet. I draw, and play a Swamp, passing. Martin draws, but doesn't have a land to play, and he casts the Sword of the Anime. Max plays a Calciform Pools, and he has enough mana now to play out his Empyrean Eagle, passing to Nick. Nick plays a Plains, and then casts a Mind Stone. He uses the Mind Stone to activate the Dimir Signet to cast an Orzhov Signet, and he passes to me. I play Urborg, and then cast a Burnished Heart. Martin draws for turn, and with no land to play, casts Dousing Dagger. It comes in, and gives Max 2 plant tokens, and Martin passes. Max plays a Plains, and he casts a Migratory Route. He goes to find his bird tokens as he passes. Nick draws, and casts Deputy of Detention, who comes in, and targets one of Max's bird tokens. Nick then gets to exile them all with this trigger, and once it's resolved, he plays out a Reflector Mage, and as that comes in, bounces my Burnished Heart back to my hand, and passes. I play a Swamp, and cast a Guardian Idol, which comes into play tapped as I pass to Martin. Martin draws, and has to pass. Max plays an Island, and we see the old standard all-star, Dream Trawler, before Max passes turn. Nick untaps and draws, playing a Command Tower. He casts Duplicant in his main phase, who comes in and exiles the Eagle. Moving to combat, Nick swings at Martin and I with the Deputy and the Mage, and we each take 2, and Nick passes. I play a Swamp for turn, and recast my Burnished Heart. I then pass to Martin. Martin draws a land finally, playing a Temple of Enlightenment. He scries 1, and passes. Max plays a Plains, and taps 4 mana for Sarah the Benevolent. He downticks the Walker to make an Angel token, and then goes to combat. The Dream Trawler heads at Nick, which draws Max a card as it swings. It gets pumped again by +1/+0, dealing 5 to Nick and gaining Max 5. Nick draws, and goes to combat. He swings a Duplicant and Reflector Mage at me, and the Deputy at Martin. I block the Duplicant with my Burnished Heart, and before damage, sacrifice it to go and find 2 basics. Martin and I then take 2 again each, and he passes turn. For my turn, I tap 4 mana in my main phase to get me Kels, and I pass to Martin. Martin draws and casts his own Burnished Heart. He then passes, and at the end of turn, Nick casts Vanish into Memory and targets Max's Angel. He exiles the token forever, which is super sweet, because it means he'll draw the 4 and then never have to discard any because it doesn't come back. Max draws and plays a Plains. He taps 7 mana for Sphinx Ambassador, and he then upticks Sarah and swings the Dream Trawler at Nick. This draws Max a card, and Nick is jealous and decides to sacrifice his Mind Stone to draw a card as well. He then takes 6, and Max gains 6. Max then passes. Nick plays a Nimbus Maze for turn before casting a Luminarch Primordial. He exiles Max's Sphinx Ambassador, Martin's Burnished Heart, and my commander. I'm paying the Pizza Man at this point, and Nick then goes to combat, going with everything at Sarah. When I return, with the targets on the stack, I use Kels to sacrifice the Bloodghast to pay 1 to draw a card from it. We then get the life from the Primordial, and Max then lets Sarah get taken out, and Nick passes. I untap and draw. I cast Drowner of Hope, gaining some Eldrazi Scion tokens as it enters, and pass to Martin. Martin plays a Rogue's Passage, and casts his commander, the Geist of St. Traft. He equips him with the boots, and then passes to Max. Max draws, and casts a Windreader Sphinx. He then heads straight to combat, swinging the Dream Trawler at Nick, and drawing from its own attack trigger, and then drawing another card from the Windreader trigger. This has the Dream Trawler gaining +3/+0 because 3 cards have been drawn this turn, and Nick then takes 6 and Max gains 6. In his second main phase, Max then plays a Command Tower, passing. Nick plays a Skycloud Expanse for his turn, and he casts one of my favorites, the Hedron Archive. He swings the Luminarch Primordial at Martin, who just takes the hit. In his post-combat main phase, Sudden Disappearance hits the stack, and Max uses Swords to Plowshares on the Primordial. This has Nick gaining 4, and he then exiles his board to return it at the end of turn. He moves to it, and the Deputy hits my Scions, the Duplicant hits my Drowner, and the Reflector Mage hits Max's Windreader Sphinx, and Nick then passes. I draw, play a Swamp, and cast Ophiomancer. I think about casting Kels, but Martin warns me off of it, and I pass to him. I'm off camera eating pizza in the background, but I will gain a token which will come in once I'm back on Martin's upkeep. Martin then draws, and gears up his Geist with the equipment. He swings the Geist at Max, who said he'll let 1 attack go through, and getting the on-attack trigger, finds a basic thanks to the Sword of the Anime. He also gets a 4/4 Angel that's attacking and headed at Nick. Once everything connects, Martin then transforms his Dowsing Dagger into a Lost Veil. We then see in Martin's post-combat main phase, him casting a Danitha Capuchin, Paragon, and then passes. Max untaps and draws. He plays an island, and taps enough for his commander, Inniaz the Gale Force. Max then taps another one for Wayfarer's Bauble, and goes to combat. The Dream Trawler keeps on trawling through Max's library, as he gets another attack trigger to draw a card, and Nick then takes 5, while Max gains 5. Max's second main phase has him casting an Azorius Signet, and he passes turn. Nick draws, and drops a Sin Collector, who enters and targets Max. Max reveals his hand, and there are no valid targets for Nick to exile. Nick then brings out Sharuum, and brings back Nick's Mind Stone. Nick then goes to combat, swinging the Duplicant at Max. Max thinks about blocking, but decides to just take it. My turn is quite quick, as I cast a Helm of Possession, and pass. Martin untaps and draws. He plays a tapped Celestial Colonnade, and then plays out a Vidalcan Archmage. He moves his Swiftfoot Boots over onto it, and then casts a Hammer of Nazan. It comes in and equips itself to the Geist, and Martin then remembers to draw from the Archmage trigger. He swings the Geist at me, and makes another Angel token, which heads at Nick. Martin gets to find another basic from the Sword of the Anime trigger, and Nick then takes 4, while I block with my Snake token. I make a Snake from my Ophiomancer on Max's upkeep, and Max plays a Foundry of Consoles in his main phase. He replays the Windreader Sphinx, and goes to combat. He swings his commander and the Dream Trawler at Nick, drawing from the Dream Trawler trigger, and then drawing 2 more from the Windreader Sphinx, seeing 2 flyers attacking. Nick then trades his commander for Max's commander, and takes 7 from the Pumped Trawler, with Max gaining 7 life. Max then passes. Nick untaps and draws. He plays a Seagate Oracle, looking at his top 2 as it comes in, and keeping one and bottoming the other. Nick then taps enough to recast his commander, but has no artifacts in his graveyard to return to play. He then passes, and at the end of turn, I steal Sharuum away from Nick with the promise of pizza after I sacrifice a snake to activate the helm. I get a snake on my upkeep, and draw. I play an island, getting to bring back my Bloodghast from my graveyard. I then recast Kels, but decide not to attack with Sharuum because I don't want to give cards to Max, and I pass to Martin. Martin draws her turn, and casts a Sword of War and Peace. It comes in, and gets attached to the Geist of St. Traft thanks to the Hammer of Nazan. Martin then casts another sword, Sword of Vengeance, and once more attaches it to the Geist as it enters. We then see a Silverblade Paladin hitting the field, and it soulbonds with a Geist because apparently soulbond doesn't even target, so the pro-white from the sword doesn't stop it. Mask of Memory then comes in, attaching itself as well to the Geist, and Martin realizes he should have drawn a few cards from the Archmage, which we let him do now. Martin then plays an island, and he casts Trailblazer's Boots, slapping those as well onto the Geist, and then drawing from the Archmage. He swings the Geist at Max, who can't block because of the Trailblazer's Boots, and makes an Angel token swinging at me. Max then takes 18 commander damage, while I take 4 from the Angel. Martin is also resolving his 2 Mask of Memory triggers as well, plus gaining 12 from the Sword of War and Peace triggers. He also remembers to grab a basic from the Sword of the Animist. Max unfortunately gets taken out at this point, and Martin then moves to his end step, discarding down to 7. Nick untaps and plays an island. He drops Ravenous Chupacabra, who comes in and destroys the Silverblade Paladin. Responding to this, I sacrifice my Bloodghast to Kels, and pay for Kels seeing it die to draw a card. I then do it again for the Ophiomancer token, and draw another card. Nick then activates his Hedron Archive, sacrificing it and drawing 2. Nick then drops Solemn Simulacrum, and swings the Duplicant at Martin while he's searching. Martin just decides to take the hit for 5, and then Nick passes to me. I untap and let the Helm untap as well, giving Nick back his commander. I get a Snake token from the Ophiomancer on my upkeep as well, and draw for turn. I play Cabal Coffers, and bring back this Bloodghast as I play a land. I then go to combat, swinging the team at Martin, with the Bloodghast being able to attack because of how low Nick's life total is. Martin blocks the Ophiomancer with Danitha, and with the Bloodghast being unblocked, I ninjutsu out a Fallen Shinobi. Martin then takes 9, 4 of which is from Kels, and he exiles his top 2 cards for the Shinobi trigger. In my post-combat main phase, I activate the coffers for a lot of black mana, and pay to sacrifice the snake to Kels and draw from it. 2 mana then gets me a reassembling skeleton, and the skeleton shares the same fate as the snake, drawing me a card as it's sacrificed to Kels. I still have enough left to cast a Demon of Dark Schemes, which comes in and gives everything -2/-2 until end of turn. This takes out 5 other creatures, gaining me 5 energy. I don't end up using either of Martin's spells unfortunately, so they stay in exile as I pass. At the end of turn, Martin uses Path to Exile to take out Nick's Sharuum. Martin casts Core Spirit Dancer in his main phase and gives her the boots. He then puts Angelic Destiny onto her and draws. We then see him cast an Open the Armory, and he goes into his library until he finds Blackblade Reforged and then casts it. It comes in and gets to equip itself to the Geist with the Hammer trigger. Martin then swings the Geist at me, and the Spirit Dancer and the Angel the Geist makes at Nick. Since I'm going out, before damage is done, I cast Force of Despair, exiling a black card, to wipe out the core and the Angel, and then take 21 commander damage from the Geist connecting to my face. Martin also gets to go and find a land from his Sword of the Animist, and he then resolves the Mass trigger, discarding a land, and he passes his turn. Nick untaps and draws. He casts Gaunty and targets Martin with the ETB trigger. He picks one of the top 4, but there's not a lot he can do against Martin's Trailblazer boots, letting him swing in unimpeded. Cyclonic Rift would do it, but Nick hasn't drawn it sadly, and he casts the Stolen Trinket Mage. He goes into his library to find a Soul Ring. He reveals what he does have in hand, a Time Warp, which he shows to Martin, laughing as he scoops it up to him. Game review time. So who would have guessed that a commander with hexproof would make for a really good Voltron commander? To be fair though, Martin was pretty far behind for most of the game, and as soon as he started getting stuff ready, it wasn't as though he was hiding it, he was very transparent with it. There were also 3 blue decks against him, not to mention some white thrown into the mix, which is good at exiling artifacts. And, as you know, blue always has Cyclonic Rift, so sometimes you just get unlucky. Max's Dream Trawler was really powerful, and he was connecting for like 5 at least every turn. I was actually so impressed with the card that I might consider running it in some other decks. I believe Nick's Sharuum deck is actually his Law deck that he converted to add black to. It seemed to run a lot of the similar cards, but with the added benefit of bringing back artifacts. I'm really not too sure what to say about Kels Fight Fixer. I don't think I really got to showcase how powerful she was or what she really wants to do. She seems like a decent Dimir commander, albeit kinda generic in the sense that all she wants to do is sacrifice creatures to make stuff indestructible and draw cards. Please be sure to tune in every Monday and Thursday at 11 AM Eastern Standard Time for a guaranteed new video. You can also follow me on Twitter at MTGMudsta. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/mtgmudsta. And lastly, you can check me out when I stream at twitch.tv/mtgmudsta. This video is brought to you in support by my patrons. If you're looking for a way to help out the channel, please be sure to visit the link below. Thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.